today's topic is a good one. We are talking about the welcome home bonus in the state of Massachusetts. And I am joined by the Veterans Bonus Manager, Steve Croteau. Thank you, Steve, for being here.
Thanks for inviting us. Really appreciate. We try our best to get the word out, and I think this is a great opportunity for that.
No, I totally agree. And you yourself, you served in the military, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I was in the Air Force, 24 years, retired, active duty Air Force, retired as Master Sergeant. Been all over, and I can really relate to the veterans. So I really try my best to reach out to as many veterans as I can.
Awesome. And so the welcome, you've been doing this now for 3 years, right?
Yep, 3 years.
And so the welcome home bonus, this is really different. I've never heard of another state doing this. It comes out of the state's treasurer's office, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And if you can explain to people what the deal is, what is the welcome home bonus?
Sure. So the welcome home bonus, we have a few wartime bonuses, but the current wartime bonus is the Global War on Terrorism welcome home bonus. That's for service members that lived in Massachusetts before entering the military and served after 9/11, 2001 to present. There's some bonuses: $500 for 6 months active service, $1,000 for your first imminent danger deployment, $500 for any other imminent danger deployments, and then $250 for deployments in support of a GWAT operation, but not an imminent danger location.
Gee, so I mean, there's some guys that I've served with that they've done 6 or 7 tours. So I mean, for an individual that's just getting out and has never actually even looked at the welcome home bonus, we could be talking about thousands of dollars.
Yep. We the treasurer, she awarded one for about $6,000 to a individual who was a special ops person. He went in and out of imminent danger locations throughout his career. It really helps a member when they're getting out. For him and his family, to help them pay a down payment for the house.
That's awesome. And so is this a tax-free bonus, or?
That's correct. Tax-free one-time bonus, but the current bonus you can get multiple deployments, like we mentioned.
So Steve, something that I hear from a lot of veterans about using their benefits of any kind, really, whether it's state or federal, is that they don't really want to take services away from other veterans. So is the welcome home bonus a situation where, I mean, if they use it, then they're taking the bonus away from someone else that might need it more than they do, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's a great point. I hear the same issues. A lot of times I hear with senior leaders that don't want to take the benefit away from the junior folks. In our case, they're not doing that. We get an allotment every year, an annual budget for this bonus. And since I've been here the last 3 years, we haven't reached the total amount. So we've always had some extra money, and that money goes back into the state's general fund. So I always encourage everybody to apply for this bonus, because if the legislators see it not being used, then they may think that they may not know how many people we have deploying. So this is a good opportunity for us to show the state legislators that we still have a lot of people from Massachusetts that are deploying on this global war on terrorism. And that's something I think that's important to let the leaders know.
Awesome. No, I agree that is important information. So if you're out there and you haven't used it yet, don't feel like you're going to take services away from your fellow benefits, right? I mean, if you don't use it, then it's going to probably disappear, I guess, right?
That's right. So that's the one reason is people don't want to take away from other people. And another reason is some folks, in the past, they had to go to the city clerk for residency. So our office can reach out now. So now they can just do an application and submit the documents that they have. They don't have to go to another office.
So easy peasy, one-stop shopping.
Yep, that's it.
Nice.
Yep.
All right. So now is the bonus only available to veterans who have served GWAT, or, I mean, are there individuals like Persian Gulf, for instance? Are there bonuses for that as well?
Yes, there's some other bonuses for some other wartime periods. Now, these bonuses, they were passed by a state law. So we just celebrated a 100-year anniversary last year. The first veterans bonus was passed in 1919 for the World War I bonus.
Wow.
So there was also a World War II bonus, Korean War bonus, Vietnam bonus, and Persian Gulf bonus, which is 1990 to 1991.
So is there like a time frame on this? I mean, if there's a Korean War veteran or a World War II veteran listening to this right now, and they're like, "Hey, I never got my welcome home bonus," is this something that they could still apply for? Or is there a time limit?
No, no time. Absolutely, we do award. We still award some World War II bonuses. Some of them are to family members because the service member may have been deceased, but the family is eligible for it if the service member didn't receive it when they passed, when they were serving. Most of the older wars, they received it after discharge, but we have great records where we can research. We can even provide a copy of the check in most cases of their bonus from whenever. So the bonuses are still available. What we recommend is for anybody who doesn't remember if they got the bonus to contact our office and we can research it. If they didn't get it, we'll get an application to them or their family.
And so for anybody that's out there listening to this right now, link is provided below right now. I have it on the screen. I also have it in the description. If you want to get in touch with the state or get in touch with Steve here, we'll have that information made available to you. Wow, 100 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a long time. And like I said, we have records that go back that far. We even have records that go back farther than that for the Spanish-American War back in 1800s. But at that time, Massachusetts was paying a monthly allotment to those service members from Massachusetts that were serving during that time period.
That's nuts. It's crazy to me. I mean, after I had gotten out, I served in the United States Marine Corps, and I stuck around in North Carolina for a while. And they have veteran service officers and stuff, but they're at the county level, not at like the township level,
right,
as they are here. I mean, there's hundreds, well, not hundreds, but well over 100
right,
VSOs throughout the state of Massachusetts. Now, bringing that up, I mean, is this something that is it easiest just to contact you and contact the state treasurer's office? Can they go through their VSO? I mean, what's the best way to do it?
Yeah, it's a great point. You can definitely go to your VSO. The VSOs, we work with them very closely. Or you can reach out to us. We have online applications that we just launched last year where they can submit it online, upload all their documents, and that's probably the quickest way to get it to us through online.
And so, I mean, especially in the event that, a family member of a veteran is hearing this, perhaps, unfortunately, maybe a deceased veteran had never received this benefit, and you had mentioned that this is a benefit that is also afforded to the family.
That's right.
So what kind of documents would a family member need in order to demonstrate, their ties to that particular veteran and so on and so forth?
Great question. So first, we need some discharge papers and a death certificate. Usually, the death certificate shows the relationship, either the parents or if the member was married, it shows the spouse. So if the member was married, then the spouse is eligible for the bonus. If the member had children, then the children would be eligible. If wasn't married and no children, then the parents are eligible. So pretty easy. Like I said, discharge and the death certificate. And we also have a residency requirement. Our office can research that for the member. If they have some documents showing that they lived in Massachusetts, then they can provide those documents. If not, our office can research the address of the member, or we can contact the city clerk. Excuse me. So if a military member died while on active duty, we call that the Gold Star family. The Gold Star family member is eligible for $1,000 plus any unpaid bonuses that the member may not have received. So I'm really making an effort to reach out to these Gold Star families. So I think there's over 300 in Massachusetts for post 9/11, and we only had a handful. So that's an audience that I'm really trying to target this year.
Okay, that's good to know. I mean, I'm always doing tons of outreach and education efforts for our veterans throughout all of New England. So I'll definitely make sure that that's a part of my vernacular while I'm out there
Yeah, I appreciate
chatting with
it.
veterans and what have you. So in an instance where a veteran or a family member of a veteran may not even have a copy of their DD 214, I mean, this happens a lot, especially with veterans who had served prior to the digital age, we'll call it.
Right.
You know, what's the best way for them to be able to acquire a DD 214 to demonstrate that they in fact had service?
A couple of ways. One is Massachusetts has an office that maintains DD 214s for individuals, for service members that were from Massachusetts. I would contact them first to see if maybe they have a copy of the DD 214. Also, I believe some VA have access to some DD 214s, some VA reps, and also the National Archives. I would say National Archives is probably the most reliable, but it's also the most time consuming probably to receive it.
Okay, good to know. So that's the archives is the National Public Record Center.
In St. Louis, I
Yeah,
think.
in St. Louis.
Yep.
So is this a benefit that's only afforded to individuals who served on active duty, or can they be reservists, National Guardsmen? Does that make a difference?
No, it doesn't make a difference. But the once again, the residency requirement is they had to live in Massachusetts before entering the military or for the reserve or guard before being activated. So if a military member lives in Massachusetts, National Guard or Reserve, gets activated, deploys, then they're eligible for the bonus.
And also to add on to that, so I'd served, I joined out of the state of Massachusetts, got back, stayed a resident for a little while, and then I end up moving to Florida. And I'm currently living in Florida right now, and I'm just now hearing this through social media. And am I still eligible for it, or do I actually still have to live in the state of Massachusetts?
No, you would still be eligible for it, but the other way around, unfortunately, you wouldn't be eligible for it. So, I lived in Massachusetts before I went to the military, did your time in the military, then moved to another state, you'd be eligible for it. But if you entered the military from another state and ended up living in Massachusetts, then you're not eligible for it.
So you had to have joined the military out of the state of Massachusetts.
That's correct. That's the way all the laws have been written for 100 years. Not sure why. One reason why I think is because perhaps your home of record is usually where you initially pay your state taxes.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been a reason why. But like I said, in all the laws from going back to World War I, it's always stated the member had to live in Massachusetts for at least 6 months. So some other issues that we encounter are individuals that have served during peacetime but have participated in other combat operations. So currently we don't have a bonus for that, but we're working to perhaps get something to reach out to those folks that served in operations during peacetime, because that's a big question we get a lot. So we get the question for individuals that lived out of state and currently live in Massachusetts, and also individuals that served during peacetime. Those, you probably know it yourself. That's a big group of people that aren't eligible for many benefits.
Yeah.
So those are issues that we're looking at addressing to ensure we're fair across the board.
And are there other than the welcome home bonus? I mean, are there other benefits that are afforded to veterans through the state of Massachusetts through the treasurer's office or anything like that?
There's another program, I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's the annuity, which is done by the Department of Veteran Services. So what that is the Department of Veteran Services, they award a $2,000 a year, $1,000 in February and $1,000 in August to service members that are 100% VA rated service disabled.
And so do you know if there's a distinction between permanent disabled or just 100% disabled?
Yeah, I'm not sure the details on that.
Okay.
So that's what Veteran Services I think if you're rated 100% disabled and you live in Massachusetts, you're eligible for that annuity. It comes out 1,000 in February, which is coming up,
Mhm.
and then 1,000 in August.
That's crazy. There's a ton of benefits in the
Yeah,
state of
there are.
Massachusetts.
There are.
That's crazy.
There's so many.
But it's the welcome home bonus is a really cool, very different thing, and it's bonkers to me that it's been around for 100 years now.
Right. Yep. 100 years. And active duty folks can apply for this as well.
Oh wow.
You don't have to be out of the military to apply for this bonus.
And so if I'm active duty and I'm stationed over at Hanscom Air Force Base.
Yep.
Oh, but I had to have joined out of Massachusetts.
That's correct.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. And so even though I'm not living in Massachusetts right now, but I'm active duty and I'm stationed in Texas, North Carolina,
Yep.
or Louisiana or whatever,
Overseas doesn't matter.
then I just submit my application online.
Yep.
And
There's a few more requirements for the active duty folks because they don't have the DD 214. So
Right.
we require a letter from the commanding officer stating that they're currently serving honorably, and we also require documentation showing when they entered so we can validate their residency.
okay.
Still not too bad. I'm really making an effort to make this easy to get more people to apply, because if you don't make it easy, people are hesitant to apply.
And so about what percentage of veterans and service members have actually applied for this benefit? I mean, how many folks are we trying to search for?
So 2019 we received about 2,000 applications, and we awarded a little over $1 million.
Holy moly.
Yeah. And there's still folks out there. So out of that 2,000, I think we had about 350 that are currently active serving, and the rest have been discharged. And also a large group of that is our National Guard folks. We deploy a lot of National Guard folks. So they're in Massachusetts. They get the word a little easier. I'm really trying to make an effort to get the word out to folks outside of Massachusetts. So this is a great opportunity for me to do that. Thanks again, Paul.
Not a problem. And for the National Guardsmen and women that are out there, they have to be from the state of Massachusetts, but they don't have to be stationed at I don't even know what a unit that's in Massachusetts. So for
that's
instance,
correct.
I could belong to a unit out of Vermont.
Yep.
But because I'm a resident, because I joined the National Guard out of the state of Massachusetts, then I'm a thumbs up and I qualify.
Right. So National Guard and Reserve, a little unique. We asked that they live in Massachusetts before they get activated.
Okay.
So when you get for National Guard and Reserve, they get activated. They do their time, then they get a DD 214 for that active service. So we look at that, each one of their DD 214s for their activations, we look at that as their time prior to entering. And we do get a lot of folks live in Massachusetts, serving for Rhode Island, New York, Connecticut, New Hampshire. So as long as they live in Massachusetts before they get activated, they're eligible.
Good to know.
Yeah, great info.
So it's a fantastic benefit that the State Treasurer's Office has been offering now for over 100 years. Man, the state. Well, I mean, the Department of Veteran Services has been around since the beginning of the country. I think they were created in 1775 or 5, I think it was. And so, I mean, it's the state of Massachusetts really is definitely at the forefront when it comes to veterans benefits. Steve, I really appreciate the work you're doing for our veterans. I appreciate your service. Thank you very much for your service to our country.
Same here. Thank you.
Also, thank you for being on the podcast. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. I really appreciate it. Anytime. Thank you.